Дорогие друзья, доброго времени вам суток. Good morning, good afternoon, and we're going to talk with Gil Petersil today. Дорогие друзья, мы будем сегодня общаться с Гилом Петерсилом на английском, поэтому кто знает английский здорово, кто хочет попрактиковаться, тоже здоровская возможность, потому что английский будет таким простой, разговорный, естественный. Готовьте свои вопросы, мы поговорим о нетворкинге, о целях, распорядке дня с одним из ведущих экспертов в этой теме, моим хорошим товарищем Гилом. Он сейчас присоединится, я видел, мы уже списались, он готов давать ценность, готов отвечать на вопросы. Все, что вас интересует, связано с темой стратегического партнерства, нетворкинга, целей, конечно же, задавайте вопросы, пишите здесь в комментариях, я все их буду видеть. И самые интересные, конечно же, адресую нашему другу Гилу. Вот я вижу, Гил уже здесь. И пообщаемся. Будем говорить на английском. Ждем. Gil, hi, it's very nice to see you here. Thank you very much for your time. And I would love to introduce you to our friends and followers. Gil Petersil is a professional business speaker and consultant, networking expert, entrepreneur, life and business coach, an amazing person and role model, Gil. And thank you very much again. You are in Singapore, right?
No, I'm currently in Bali.
In Bali.
I'm in the #1 7-star hotel in the world.
Wow.
Who's watching can enjoy. This is a 7-star hotel, so it's a very. Maybe I'll give you guys this. I'll give you guys this view. Maybe it's better for your viewers. You guys could see this view behind me. Yeah.
Wonderful. So beautiful. Yes, I love Bali. I've been there in 2016, New Year. So it's amazing, powerful place, Gil. Best wishes to Bali, to Katya and your family. You are great role model for me personally and a lot of people all over the world. Gil, and today's Gil, and today's yes, and today's topic is networking tips. You are world's expert in this subject and strategic partnership. Could you please tell us about that? What is networking and what is strategic partnership?
So first of all, thank you, Pasha, for doing what you're doing and how you're serving the world. It's been a pleasure to see you grow and flourish as a businessman, as a father, as an entrepreneur, as a speaker, as a coach for many years. I remember us connecting in the Tony Robbins events early on in the days when we were just starting. So it's a pleasure to have you, to see you this way.
Thank you.
Networking is basically a set of habits. It's rituals that someone picks up throughout life, and it's how they manage relationships. We all network. Every single person in the world networks from a very young age. Until the day we die, we network. We network with family members. We network with colleagues at work. We network with friends and strangers. We network with the waiter at the restaurant. We network with ourselves. We network with God. We're humans. As humans, if we don't network, we die. There is no, our body is one big network. So our body is continuously networking in order to stay alive. Our brain and the heart, they're constantly talking. They're constantly networking. And as a human being myself, I've learned that studying how we network and how we can network better and how we can build more beautiful relationships, how we could drop our ego from the network, how we could build relationships that would allow something to grow, whether it's a project, whether it's a new initiative, a charity, whether it's a family, you know, two people networking together create a family, they create kids. So for me, networking has become a mission in life to be the greatest student in the world of networking.
Wow, beautiful. Gil, and you mentioned Tony Robbins before, and your exclusive representative of Tony Robbins in Russia, and you work with him many years. And thank you very much for what you're doing as well. And I remember back in 2013 when I met you and Katya first time and decided to go with you at UPW in 6 months, I think even less. And what did you learn from Tony? Who is Tony Robbins?
Um, so I learned quite a lot from Tony because I've been following Tony, and I've been seeing Tony as a mentor for more than 20 years now, 23 years actually. The first time I listened to Tony was when I was 18 years old. I was living in Toronto, and I saw one of his commercials on the internet, and I bought his CDs. So Tony became an inspiration to me. He became a mentor from a distance. He became a great coach. By following his advice, I've learned to move forward in life. Tony today is, a leader in the training and coaching world. He's a philanthropist because he gives a lot to the world. He gives more than 500 million meals. That's 500 million meals every year. He is a very big advocate and supporter of human trafficking, where not an advocate, he's an advocate to fight against human trafficking, saving thousands of people's lives in such a beautiful way where, you know, his heart and soul is really there to help the world. Tony, for me, he's done a lot by teaching me how to be a better human being when connecting with others. He's taught me a lot about relationships between men and women, so I could be a better husband, a better coach, and a better manager for some of the women in our community. He's definitely given me a lot of insights and methodologies and practical, uh, advice that I was able to use within the business itself. How do I become a business owner and not a business operator? How do I understand myself as an artist and still be an entrepreneur and still run companies? So yeah, I owe a lot to Tony. That's why I continuously serve him, continuously support him. We're very good friends. His family and my family are good friends. You know, I've been to his house. He invited me to his house for a one-on-one talk, and very powerful human to have a relationship with.
Your example of constant and never-ending improvement. You learn, you study, you travel the world, and you're a great husband and father, entrepreneur. And what is your daily routine, Gil? What is your daily habits? And you look very relaxed, very peaceful now. And how do you use your time? What's your daily routine? What can you say about that?
I can't really say that I have an exact perfect routine, because I think the beauty of life is to be human, and it's to step out of routine. It's to have a little bit of unbalance and to have a little bit of chaos in life. It's to have adventures in life, to create surprises in your life. But every day I try to do specific things that would help me, help my mind, my body, my spirit. So every day I start my day with, while I'm still in bed, I stretch my body. I don't get out of bed, I stretch my body. We don't sleep with phones anywhere in our bedroom. We charge our phones in the other room, outside of our bedroom. So there is no phone next to me when I get up. I usually get up about 5 or 10 minutes before my alarm clock, because I set my mind to wake up. And when I wake up, I just stretch my body. I move my body I say thank you that everything still works. I could see everything is amazing. Um, I drink some water. I drink a lot of water. The first thing in the morning, as I get out of bed. And after I have my morning practices, I go and spend time with the kids, usually about 30 minutes to an hour in the morning before they go to school. And as they go to school, I get into fitness. I have a teacher that comes in 5 days a week who works on my body to make sure that my body stays strong and I can maintain, I could stay on stages for 12, 15 hours and I could still make sure that I have the energy to serve the world. My days tend to be very, very structured. That's why I'm very grateful to my assistant, Rita, and my whole team who supports me to have very, very structured and full agenda. Now, in my schedule, I have sometimes a slot that says no meetings. It's just my time. I have a slot in the evening that says family time. That it's there. It's in the evening. I spend time with the family. I eat with them. I hang out. I play with the kids. Every day I have time to do videos. Every day I have time to hang out with Katya and talk to her about life and business. Every day I have meetings, phone calls. It's, I think that a good life, especially if you're someone that wants to do something great in life, it's about progress. So as long as my meetings are either for progress or my meetings are for discovery. So either we're making decisions, or I'm consulting, or I'm coaching. I'm doing a lot of coaching. So we're moving things forward, moving one of my companies forward, or moving someone else's company forward, or discovery calls. I love discovery calls. Discovery calls for me is getting to know new people that want to work with me, they want to collaborate with me. I get on calls with them for about 20 minutes to discover who they are. It's a very beautiful thing. That's the curiosity in me. I love getting to know people better. It's very interesting. And then I have my speeches and my podcasts. So every single week I have 4, 5 speeches and interviews. Plane that's nice. Small plane. Yeah, every week I do 3 to 5 interviews and podcasts and speeches, and so I have time for that. I like to serve the world. I love eating food. Like I'm really, really love eating food. I make sure to eat good food with good people. It's one of my good friends, Keith Farazi, who's been one of my mentors for many years, but now he's a friend. He wrote the book Never Eat Alone. So I really, really try not to ever eat alone. So I eat dinners with different people, sometimes with my wife, sometimes with friends. Like tonight, for example, we have a mastermind dinner in our home. Every single Thursday, we invite 6 people to our home, different people every time. We mix people up and we have a nice dinner, a mastermind dinner at our home, which is an amazing ritual that we have in our family and something I think people should have. Just invite people for your home, even if you're not doing well in business, even if you don't have a lot of money. These days you can have a meal for 8 people for $100. No, and everyone who's listening can afford $100. And if you're serving people, if you're giving to other people, your life will flourish. Your life will become better and more meaningful. So for me, that's a massive part of my daily rituals: is how do I serve the world? How am I gonna make the world a better place by me living another day?
Wow. Gil, and what is your dream or mission? You mentioned mission. And what is your personal mission and dream?
I have many. I don't think a human being should have one. I don't think. I think we should have many, many, many dreams and many missions, because sometimes missions, some of my missions are managed by other people. It was my mission. It was my dream. I shared it with a few other people, and suddenly they are doing it. So it's awesome. Like my mission is coming true without me giving too much of my effort into it. One of my leading missions in life today is to connect with the most outstanding people in the world. It's to meet the most amazing people in the world and to see what I can learn from them, to see how I can help them, how I can serve them, to see how I could potentially collaborate with them, to see if I can connect them with other people, like my community, like I've done with Tony Robbins and Eckhart Tolle and Jay Abraham and so many other amazing people in the world that we love and respect. We want to be able to serve them. We want to be able to give them. And for me, that became a mission that I've been able to build a few different businesses around serving these people, around giving to these people. And that's been a lot of fun for me. I've really enjoyed that part of my life. And today, if I can continuously grow myself, like personal development is a big part of our family values. And if I could be surrounded by a community that's constantly developing, so we're now building communities, digital communities and offline communities around the world, that makes me happy. And if I'm constantly meeting amazing people, that keeps me inspired. It keeps me seeing that, wow, the world, I only know this much. I want to know more every single day.
And you are a coach, you are a mentor for many people, and you also have a lot of coaches and mentors and role models you mentioned before. Why do we need a coach and mentor, Gil, and how we can find a good one?
So that's a really good question. I've had mentors for most of my life because throughout my young kind of growing up, I didn't see my dad as a role model enough. Today, I see him as a great man who taught me a lot. My dad taught me how to work with my hands. He's a carpenter. He knows how to build a house, and he's built many. So he's taught me how to fix anything with the house and myself. I can paint the house. I can fix electricity. I can fix the roof. I can build something with my hands easily, and it's something my father gave me. But I was more interested in making money. I didn't understand why when I was young, when I was like my 18, 20 years old. I wanted to gain money because I wanted to buy things. It was material. Today, I like to build things. Today, I like to give charity. Today, I like to give money to others. So my mentors have taught me a lot about that. My mentors taught me different skills. My mentors have taught me different values that I love. For me, the power of a mentor, I always say this to all of my students, and so anyone who's a student of mine today, like if someone signs up and he's my client and I'm their coach, I will help them identify 3 to 5 other mentors and give them mentors. Because many people, it's not easy to find mentors in life. It's not. So I believe that a mentor is someone who is not your family member and not your boss. It's someone who will give you insights, give you advice, give you support, and they don't want anything in return. And a mentor doesn't have to be a perfect human being. I have one mentor of mine, is a very rich individual. He's built many companies. He always gives me advice about how to look at the business of the financial model. But he's really good in financial models, but he's not really good as a husband, because I know that he's not a loyal husband. So a mentor doesn't have to be a perfect person. I know someone, for example, a young guy, he's around 34. Rob is 35 years old. And Rob has been having a few different businesses in his life. Some of the businesses that he runs are not really legal, but he makes a lot of money. And it's very interesting that I see him as a friend, as a mentor, because he's taught me to think about money in a different way. So when he used to say, "Why are you not buying this, Gil?" And I said, "It's too expensive." He said, "Gil, stop saying it's expensive. If you're saying it's expensive, you're limiting your mind." And he started to teach me how to say different things. How to say, well, it's not something I want to buy right now, or I don't value this, or I have a different priorities of where I want to spend my money. If you're saying it's expensive, you're limiting your mind. You're creating a patalok, You're creating this roof above you, which is not really healthy from a business point of view. So that became a lot more fun in life, to have these different mentors. They have spiritual mentors. I have family mentors. I have one guy who's been doing business with his wife for 25 years. And he's got an amazing business with his wife. And, when in the beginning of my relationship with Katya, when we just started the business, we had some challenges. We had some arguments about business. That happens a lot when you do business with family. So he was a guy that I used to call. His name is Izzy. He was my very, very dear friend today, but an amazing mentor. I called him and he gave me some very simple, practical advice of, Gil, what you should do if you get into an argument or a fight with your wife in business. It's very simple. So I love having mentors because mentors can give you very practical, very up-to-date advice from their experience. A coach is very different. A coach is someone who is able to challenge you. A coach is someone who's able to be much more structured than you are. A coach, to me at least, is someone who has a lot of business experience. Like, because I look for a business coach. You can look for a business coach. You can look for a lifestyle coach. You can look for an executive coach. You can look for a health coach. You can look for a money coach, a finance coach. So a coach, for me, for example, if I'm looking for a business coach, I'm looking for someone who has a lot more business experience than I do, and they're able to coach me in the way that I'm gonna to help me achieve my vision. Um, some coaches are just life coaches, so they're able to really help you achieve life work balance and to help you see life in a different perspective, to help you think outside of the box, because we all live in some sort of a sphere or a box. This is our ecosystem, the limiting beliefs and the way we think about life. And having a coach is someone who can look at it from the outside and constantly hold you by the hand and walk you towards your goals. I think that coaches are very, very important. I've spent a lot of money on coaches in my life. I think it's more important to have mentors. In my opinion, it's more important to have maybe 3 or 5 mentors in your life all the time. You don't need a coach all the time. I think you need a coach in and out. So, like, for example, myself, I believe in 6-month programs in coaching, maximum. 3 months is a minimum and 6 months is a maximum. And usually I tell my clients, if you want to work with me, you have to commit to a minimum of 3 months, but I'm not going to work with you for more than 6 months. I don't want to have a client for 3 years. I don't believe in it myself. Some people believe they have the same coach for 3 years. I actually believe in trying something different. It's the same thing as they say, for women out there who are using creams on their face, they say you shouldn't use the same brand and the same cream for more than 6 months because your body will get used to it. You need to change. And I think it's the same thing with a coach. I think it's nice to have new energy and it's nice to get out of our comfort zones. You don't want a coach that knows you too well because then it becomes a bias coach. And it's almost like having a family member doing coaching for you. I think a coach is someone who doesn't know you that well and will just challenge you. Will you would need to step out of your zone of comfort in order to step up to that level. So I believe that, and this is why a lot of my clients who come, they're like, Gil, can I please continue after 6 months, please? I'm like, no, no, no. Please, you can go work with a different coach. I can even recommend you to someone else if you want. After 6 months, you can come back and work with me again if you want. No problem. Because all of my clients want to continue after. But I tell them we need a break. I want you to grow on your own. I want to develop myself. And then we come together again and we make magic happen again.
Wow. Gil, and you work with your clients and partners with their mindset as well. You work on your mindset. You mentioned before money mindset, and you meet a lot of people from all over the world. And what's the difference between successful people and others? What's their mindset? What's their habits? What can you say about that, Gil? Because I think success is not an accident. It's predictable thing, and we can model them.
So we could definitely model successful people. I think it really depends on the culture. It depends on on the person itself. I think it really comes down to. That's why I always tell people to look for 3 to 5 different mentors. Don't try to model one person because you might not. You can't copy another person. That's why you can model them. And if you model a few people, you might be able to get the best of all worlds. For me personally, what is success? Success is being able to do what you want to do, being able to connect with the people you want to connect with, eat the food you want to eat, live wherever you want to live, have that freedom you choose to have. And for me, I've been successful for many, many years, even when I had no money. I was still successful. Even 8 years ago, I had a very, very difficult financial times in my life, and Katya and I were still going on vacations. I remember so clearly us going to Croatia in one of our first big vacations, and we had like, $30-$40 a day budget. That was the whole budget, including the hotel, including the food. And I remember that a couple of years later, we, really, really, like, all of our money was in the business, but like, we had money, but we don't want to spend money on ourselves. We were investing all the money. And I said to her, how cheap can we go? Like, what could we do? And we went on vacation to Turkey, and we went there for 4 days. And the whole vacation, including flights, including food, including hotels, including shopping, was I think $300 for everything, including everything, everything, everything. And that was like, because initially when we said like, can we spend this much? It was like, no, it's too much money. Let's invest it in the business. The business can make us more money. Come on, like, But we understood that successful people have options to enjoy life whenever they want. And for me, that's the choice of, I chose to live in Bali now, not to go back to our home in Singapore. That was a very big choice. People sometimes choose to do things because of guilt. So a lot of people, for example, during quarantine, they felt guilty. So they went back to a country, or they went to live with someone, they went to support someone. And I believe that I could, if I'm living somewhere where I feel resourceful, I can help my family and I can help different people much more. So for example, if I was stuck in Singapore right now, I don't believe I would be this calm, and I don't believe I would be this resourceful to be able to help the world. So I think it's really important that the success mindset is something that people understand that they could learn. They could learn it by, one, being around other successful people. Two, they could learn it by studying from successful people and listening to successful people. For me, it always comes down to the network. If you look at the network that's around you, and around you, you have a lot of people who are pessimists, who believe in having a job, they believe in having a job, they believe in paying taxes, they believe in buying insurance, they believe in going on one vacation a year, they believe in whatever the media tells them they believe, then that's not necessarily a successful mindset. Like, I pay my taxes, but in a very efficient way. It's okay. Don't like, there's tax avoidance and there's tax evasion. In English, you can avoid the tax by understanding how to build a business in a successful way, or you can escape tax, which is illegal. Don't escape tax, but you could build structures and businesses that are legal, and you're paying your taxes. I pay my taxes. My company pay my taxes. Even my companies pay too much taxes sometimes, but that's okay. Live where you want to live, not where you were born necessarily. So many people I know still live where they were born. Why? Why? Did you try something else? Are you scared to try something else? Okay, if you're scared to try something else, then try it. One of the fears I had is I still have a little bit of fear of water, deep water. I'm a little bit afraid to swim in deep water. I don't know what's down there, and I'm not a very good swimmer. So a couple of things I did. First of all, I made a commitment that I would make sure my kids are very, very good swimmers. And my daughter is a 4-year-old daughter. She swims beautifully, like a little fish. But also 3 years back, I don't know if you remember, Pasha, I did a regatta. We did a networking and mastermind regatta in Croatia, and then we did one in Italy. And for me, that was a way to battle my fears. And that's what successful people do. They battle their fears. They conquer their fears. So I took over 100 entrepreneurs on many, many, many boats for a networking and business regatta for a week. And that for me was not easy to do. It was really like, to live on a boat for a week was like, boat is like this, but okay, I did it. I conquered it, And I think it's important to conquer our fears. And that's what successful people do. They're not afraid of failures. They're not afraid to go through difficult times. And also what's really important for anyone who's listening is, if you want to be successful, you don't only have to network with the richest people you know. I think a successful person is someone who wants to network with people who are 3 to 5 steps above them. So thinking 3 steps ahead of yourself is also very okay. When I'm constantly networking with people, I'm not always looking for the greatest people in the world. I love to network with people who are not so successful financially, but they're maybe successful spiritually. Maybe they're successful with their bodies. I know amazing people who don't have a lot of money, but they know how to eat and how to take care of their bodies. And like, they look like gods, like, wow, their bodies are perfect bodies. And like, I think this is a successful person because they've learned how to take control of their mind. They've learned how to not to eat junk food all the time. They learn how to wake up and how to have healthy routines. So success has many, many different levels, even wealth. Wealth is not just monetary wealth. You can have wealth in spirituality. You can have wealth with the network of people you built. You can have wealth with your mindset. You can have network of your body, wealth of your body. So everything is really, it starts with a mindset. So if someone out there wants to be successful, they first of all should ask themselves, what does success mean to me? And why does it mean that to me? And what am I willing to do in order to become successful? How hard am I willing to work? Am I willing to let go of some of my bad habits? Am I willing to compromise and not go on that expensive vacation? Some people will buy an expensive car, but not necessarily develop themselves personally. So they'll buy an expensive car instead of going to a Tony Robbins training. Like, to me, a successful person will go to a Tony Robbins training. An unsuccessful person will fake it, will buy a car, and it's on a lease. And then at one stage, they get to month 6 and they can't pay the lease. Someone takes their car away. So I think success is truly, truly a mindset.
Right. Like asset and liability, like Robert Kiyosaki said. And Gil, and you live an abundant life. You was born in Israel, you lived in Canada, England, Russia, Singapore, now in Indonesia, Bali. What did you learn? What's your life lessons, Gil? If you could meet Gil, like 10-year-old or 15 years old, what would you say to him? Because a lot of people would see our conversation and probably thinking to have you as their mentor and coach. What would you say to them to live such abundant life?
First of all, I'd give him a hug and I'd tell him everything will be okay. I think it's very important that we all do that to our younger selves. Give ourselves a hug and say everything will be okay. And I constantly say this to my wife right now. It doesn't matter what the economy does or whatever happens health-wise, whatever happens with the current coronavirus in the world, everything will be okay. This is my belief. Whatever happens, it happens as a gift. And depending on how much time I had with my younger self, if I was going through one of those special time machines where I only had 1 minute, I'd have to think very, very carefully. If I was having lunch with him, I'd have a little of a sharing session with him. I would teach him about sharing sessions, and I would teach him about masterminds and the power of listening to people, the power of paying attention to people, the power of giving someone attention when they don't necessarily deserve it, the power of following up with people. For me, the biggest lessons I've learned is that the real importance of personal development and human networking, how important it truly is to constantly build relationships, constantly go deeper and deeper in relation, which is why masterminds became so important in my life, because my methodology of masterminds allow people to go very deeply, very quickly. So they get quick results, they get deep connections, and they build very strong sviazi with people. There is no need to wait for many, many months to build this deep connection. I can help someone create that in a couple of hours. And I've done that with thousands and thousands of people all over the world, including many of my Russian clients, of course, who are willing to connect. I would definitely tell my younger self to always trust people, because there's some cultures in the world that always don't trust people. They start with, I don't trust you. I always start with I trust you. Always. Whenever I meet an individual, a human being, I'll always trust them before. And then I'll see where the relationship goes. It's a much more beautiful way of working through life. I would tell my younger self to, have fun in life, enjoy life, laugh as much as you can, enjoy the beauty of food. It's okay to experiment in life and try things once or twice. That's the only way to learn. I would tell them to just love people. Love people as much as possible. It's a beautiful thing. Don't give up in life. I love that I have that. I don't give up, man. I don't give up. So many entrepreneurs I meet in the world, they give up. They either give up on themselves, they give up on people, they give up on their dreams. That to me is so sad. I know it's difficult. But fuck that. Don't give up in life. Don't give up. If it's your dreams, don't give up on it. And that's it. And then we'll give him another hug, and that's it. I tell him I love you, man. You're an awesome guy.
Wow, Gil, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your inspiration, for your energy, for this conversation. It was great to see you again, to talk with you. I miss you very much. Russia miss you very much. And I say hi to all our mutual friends over there from over here from you. And thank you again. You're amazing, and I wish you all the best, and Katya and Noah, Ellie, and all over friends and clients of yours. Thank you very much for everything you do.
Thank you, Pasha. Is there something that myself or my community could do for you?
I think you do enough. I'm following you. I'm following your advices, and I read your articles sometimes, and I will keep you informed, Gil. Thank you very much. And if you have something and I can assist you or do something for you, please let me know.
Thank you, my friend. So, first of all, I could tell you that I'm looking for a new project manager for one of the new products I'd like to launch in Russia. I launched a very successful program about deal making, how to make deals, how to make business deals, how to make life deals, how to make relationship deals. I have good deals with my wife, good deals with my kids, good deals with my partners. And I've launched a very successful program in the US. And I now want to bring it to Russia. I want to support people to make good deals, really international deals, local deals. I've had more than 20 businesses in Russia, and I've had juice bars and retail shops. I've had e-commerce and mobile app. I have events company, a tourism company, a lot of different companies. And I know how to set up businesses in Russia, and I know how to help Russians go internationally. So the biggest message, if you or someone who's listening is interested in working with me personally on, basically you're a project manager, you're a smart, responsible person, you're someone who's ethical, you're someone who loves to work hard, you're someone who loves personal development. Of course you speak English because you got to talk to me. Потому что мой русский-то не очень хорошо. Когда нужно, я могу по-русски, but немного. I don't have a lot of practice, guys. I've been lazy, Even my English, maybe, I don't know if you know this, Pasha, but I never learned English in school.
Yeah, I know, Gil, that.
English in the streets, So for me, picking up languages always took a very long time. It took me more than 20 years, 25 years to be able to really learn English. And I'm still maybe a 7 out of 10 in English. I'm still, not where I'd like to be in English. So in Russian, it's going to take me maybe another 10 years. I'll study Russian with my kids. So yeah, if you guys want to help, you want to help me find a really cool project manager, I think the Russian economy is going to flourish like crazy. There's going to be so many business opportunities right now in Russia. It's crazy. Of course, the economy all over the world is going to suffer. It's going to be a difficult time in the world. But the economies, if you look carefully, it's going to grow a lot. The entrepreneurs are going to grow, and entrepreneurs are going to need help. They're going to need help in how to set up good business deals, how to build that network of people around you. And I know how to teach it. I know how to hold someone by the hand and walk them through it. And this is not going to be just some video product. This is going to be interaction with me every single week, with people like Jay Abraham, who's coming on board, with Dan Walshman, who's one of the biggest deal makers in the world, with someone like Keith Ferrazzi, who's a friend who wants to jump in, with like 25 of my mentors are jumping in to support people to make great deals around the world. So if you are someone who's listening or someone like that, you know someone like that, connect me with them. I'd love to know that.
Wow, thank you very much, Gil. Could you please send me more information about that?
There is
I'm
no more
thinking.
information.
Oh, no
Just talk
information.
to me.
Okay,
There is no more
okay.
information. If someone is interested, they should write me. That's it. As simple as that. There is no. This is not a job description. This is a business partner that I'm looking for. I don't want an employee. You know, I have enough employees in my life. Now I'm looking for business partners. I want someone who wants to be an entrepreneur, someone who wants to run their own company. They're going to make more money than I do. I want them to be more successful than I do. That's what I do in networking. When I'm teaching networking, I want my students to be so much better than me.
Wow, beautiful. Gil,
Thanks,
thank you very
brother.
much. Talk
Of
to you very
course, man.
soon.
Thank you, man. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you. Appreciate you
Thank
very
you.
much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.